Chicopee held a flag-raising ceremony today for the U.S. Air Force. That's just one of the stops we make as Western Mass News goes town by town. The flag raising was meant to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the U.S. Air Force. The event kicked off this morning at Chicopee City Hall. And over to West Springfield now, where the countdown is on for the Big E. As we mentioned, the fair is officially just 1 week away. Western Mass News stopped by the Big E Fairgrounds this morning, where rides and vendors are already popping up. And if you do make it to the fair this year, be sure to stop by the Western Mass News Big E studio. You can find us on the Avenue of States. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and over at Holyoke, Nick's Nest held an ice cream fundraiser. The fundraiser meant to benefit Maddie Schmidt, a young girl who was diagnosed with pediatric brain cancer in February. We're told she's undergone 6 weeks of radiation and will now proceed with a clinical trial in Philadelphia. 50% of Nick's Nest ice cream sales from today will be donated to the Schmidt family to help with the upcoming costs.